All right, here we go. Brand new Flyers Daily for the 6th of September, 2024. Flyers Daily, as always, presented by Ticketmaster. Make more memories live. Just to forewarn you now, this is not going to be the longest episode. I'm dealing with the stomach bug from hell. And we're going to just take it a little easy in this episode. But what we are going to do is, at the end of summer or the end of the year, you kind of clean everything out before you start the next calendar year, or before school starts, you would clean everything up and kind of get into the nitty-gritty and do your fall cleaning or your winter cleaning or spring cleaning, whatever it is, because you want to start with a fresh, clean slate. Well, that's what we're going to do in this episode. I'm going to clean out my inbox, and I'm going to clean out some YouTube comments. We're just going to go through comments. There's no particular theme to this. Frankly, I'm running out of frickin' themes. And 1 week from today, we finally get some hockey action, as Friday night at 7 o'clock and Saturday night at 5 o'clock, the Flyers rookies will take on the Rangers rookies at the PPL Center. And we'll get some hockey to talk about. We can talk about something that happened on the ice. I'm telling you, these off seasons where your team doesn't make the playoffs, I mean, you make one round of the playoffs and it feels 100 times shorter than it does when your team doesn't make the playoffs at all. And this offseason has felt like an eternity. The Flyers haven't played a game since April 16th. So here we are, 1 week from now. It'll be the rookie games. And let's actually start there, because Stack a Leak on the YouTube channel, in response to my last video, I said in the last video that I didn't think Matvei Michkov would play in either of the rookie games up at the PPL Center. I just don't think they'll risk that. I don't have any inside information. It's just my gut feeling is that he won't play in either of those games. But Stack a Leak said, I vehemently disagree about Michkov's participation in the rookie games. He said, you're forgetting about the power of the almighty dollar. He said, if there were 10 rookie games being played at the PPL Center, then Michkov would play in all 10, filling the stands and filling the pockets of the owners/investors. It's part of my reason why, Stack a Leak. Two reasons. One is the owners/investors of the PPL Center and the Phantoms are not the same as the Flyers. They're not. They're a privately owned facility and organization. And look, I don't even know that if Michkov does play, it's going to sell out on a Friday night in the fall. I'll be honest with you, up in Lehigh Valley. So no, he's not doing 10 nights like Springsteen at or Billy Joel at Wells Fargo. It's not going to happen. So, well, I agree. We can always follow the almighty dollar. But first of all, that dollar doesn't feed the organization. And second of all, I don't know that it's going to pack a building Friday and Saturday at the PPL Center. I just don't buy that. So, I agree with your notion, but that's part of the reason why I think he doesn't play. I think they save him for the first preseason game in Philadelphia. Maybe he plays in that Sunday game against the Capitals, or maybe he plays in the Monday game against the Montreal Canadiens, or maybe it's the first preseason game in Philadelphia. I think that's that Thursday night of the first week of the preseason. I don't know. But all said and done, I wouldn't put him in that game too, because in a rookie game, guys will tend to run around a little bit more. And I don't need him getting run around on. I'm not going to bubble wrap the guy, but hey, that's the deal. Thanks for the comment. Joe Hockey Flyers. Let me move this over here so I'm not looking to my side. I don't look good from a side view. Not that I look good from a front view either. But let's get to the next comment on that same YouTube video. Joe Hockey Flyers said, Ersson Fedotov will be the goalie tandem. Not Fedotov, Fedotov. He said Fedotov multiple times. Said by the end of the season, Fedotov, he means Fedotov, will be the starter. Ruslan Fedotov is the Flyers' backup goaltender right now. And he says Scott Lawton will mainly be the third-line center and PK specialist, playing second-line C when needed. All right, let's take these in pieces because he's got a bunch here. First of all, Ersson and Fedotov will be the goalie tandem, and by the end of the season, Fedotov will be the starter. Maybe. I mean, you can make that proclamation, but you have no data or anything to support it. You're just throwing, sorry, Joey, but you're just throwing crap at the wall, and you can say, I told you so if it happens. There's no data. There's nothing you have seen or anybody has seen to make that more or less likely when it comes to Fedotov being the starter by the end of the year. Scott Lawton being the third-line center. Okay, then if Scott Lawton's the third-line center, so Sean Couturier is one of the top 3 centers, Morgan Frost is one of the top 3 centers, and Scott Lawton's the third-line center, I don't buy that. I just don't buy that. I think Scott Lawton, if he's playing center, it's on the fourth line. He could play maybe third-line wing. He will be a penalty kill specialist, no doubt about it, but he's not going to be a third-line center. Michkov will contend for the Calder Trophy and have a fantastic season. I agree with that. He said Lutsenko won't play a regular season game this year, but he will in 25-26. Okay. I don't actually disagree with that. We got a lot to learn about Jet Lutsenko this season and how he performs and all that. We'll go into that, but I can see that being a possibility. I think he's a guy that could get to the NHL quicker than we thought. Oliver Bonk plays at least 9 games this season. Eventually, within 2 or 3 years, he will anchor the number 1 power play. I don't buy that he'll play 9 games this year. I don't. Because you're going to have to now pass guys to get the you're going to have to pass guys down. He's a right-side defenseman. Who's he playing for? Is he playing on the right side instead of Travis Sanheim on the top pair? No. I don't like Sanheim on the right side either, but no. Jamie Drysdale is going to be in your top 6D. And you're looking at the third pairing, and that's going to be Rasmus Ristolainen. Ronnie Adder's got to go through waivers. You have Eric Johnson, not that that matters, but I don't buy that Oliver Bonk is going to play 9 preseason games this year. I just don't. Murph says, Jason, this is 9/4/2024. Yeah, when I put the date in for the last episode, I put it in as 8/4/2024. I'm losing my marbles. Cypher says, 5113. Thank you, Jason, for all the work this offseason. Best wishes for you and the crew as the year rolls up on us. Can't wait for that Edmonton game. Let's go Flyers. Yeah. So, yeah, we'll see. Let's also get to this DM. It comes from our good buddy, Greg Cellini. And Greg says, hey, Jace, hope you're well. We're getting so close to the season, but here's my list of storylines I'm interested in for training camp. Some do overlap with yours, some don't. And I thought he had some good ones here. Number 1, he said, we will see a more relaxed and comfortable Fedotov in the crease. That'll be the first thing I'm looking for when it comes to Fedotov. Does he look more comfortable? Number 2 was, will Ersson show he's ready to bear a heavier load this year and be a true number 1? That was one of the storylines last year. Oh, he's playing too much when Carter Hart left. They overworked him. I didn't buy into that a whole heck of a lot. I think he just struggled. I think the whole team struggled, and he was struggling, and bad goaltending will drag down a team. Bad team play will drag down a goaltender. I think it was a combination of those. Number 3 from Greg says, will Hunter McDonald exude himself physically and shock everyone by making the starting lineup? Briere seems to be in love. I think they like him a lot, but I think he needs more time in the AHL. And again, for the reasons I alluded to with Cypher on the YouTube channel, he's waiver eligible, and there's some guys that aren't. I think he'll play a game in the NHL this season, but I do not think that he makes the team out of camp. Greg says, number 4, will Jet Lutsenko's speed and power play prowess force them to consider moving a Lawton or Cates? That is interesting. Not necessarily for this season, but does Lutsenko give you something that to a higher degree than you're getting at this point with Scott Lawton or you're getting at this point with Noah Cates? I think that's an interesting question that I don't think we'll get it answered in training camp, Greg, but I think that's a question we may start to get some good information on throughout this season, even if Lutsenko plays the entirety in the with the Guelph Storm. Number 5, where do Bobby Brink, Noah Cates, and Scott Lawton fit on this team? Great question. And I think that needs to be addressed. We'll have to see. And again, I'm not going to listen to what anybody says about any players. Look at how they're used. You know how a coach, an organization, they feel about a player with how they are used, not what is said. We get caught up in words so often in sports. Not about words. It's about usage. Great question here. Number 6. Does Joel Farabee come into camp looking like a different guy, like Sanheim last year after all the trade talk? Fantastic comparable. Sanheim could have gone two ways last year. His name was out there. Torrey Krug shot down the deal to come to the Flyers, blah, blah, blah. He could have come in here and pouted, they don't want me, I got this new con. He didn't. He went to work in the offseason and said, I'll prove it. And he went out last year, won the Barry Ashby Trophy as the team's top defenseman, and he proved it. So good on him. I'd like to see Joel Farabee do the same and take that same mental approach into the season that Travis Sanheim did last year. To me, it made Sanheim a 10 times better leader the way he came into last year. And I think he's a good leader for this team. He's a chill guy, but I think he's a really good leader for the team. Number 7, when we've talked about will we see a healthy Drysdale to be able to put it all together. Number 8, what, if anything, will the organization coaches be doing during camp to work on the power play? Phenomenal question. I don't think we'll know that till the regular season, but those early preparations, they begin in camp. Have the likes of Brink, Forster, Frost physically matured any? Are they any stronger on the puck, etc.? Good question as well. And number 10, he said, finally, what players will develop the best chemistry with Matvei Michkov? Great questions. And Michkov won. I think we have our obvious answers of, he'll play with Couturier and Tippett, or he'll play with Couturier and Forster, or he'll play with Frost, Forster. We don't know. We'll see how it plays out. But those are all great questions that Greg brings to the table and what he's looking for when training camp begins coming up. Just any day now. We're right there. All right. I said I'd keep it short. I'm going to keep it short. We'll be back Monday with Bill Meltzer. We're a week away from rookie games. So we're ramping up. Everybody enjoy your weekend. Have a great one. We'll talk to you next time on a brand new Flyers Daily.